Why does a man work so hard throughout the day? He may think out of illusion, I'm doing it out of love for my family, or I'm doing it out of love for my society. But actually, he's doing it in competition against the miseries of material existence. The misery of hunger, the misery of too much heat, of too much cold, the misery of dishonor. He's working simply to try to combat against these things. If I have money, then I can defeat my opponent of hunger and thirst, and I'll have shelter to protect me from heat and cold, and I'll have enough money to combat against disease. I will have medical insurance and make so many arrangements. Try to understand, this is a hard struggle for existence where we're constantly competing the infinite opponents of the sufferings and miseries of material existence. But we are very small and insignificant, and our opponent is almighty, as God is almighty, because mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. We are fighting against the divine energy of God. We cannot win. Krishna says in Gita that I am death personified. Just like Hiranyakasipu when he was fighting against Lord Nrsingadev. Lord Nrsingadev, just to fulfill Hiranyakashipu's desire to think that he was very strong and very conquering, he allowed Hiranyakashipu to actually think he was winning the fight for some time. At one time, also Lord Varahadev, when he was fighting Hiranyaksha, the same principle. The Lord always lets the demons have a little bit of illusion that they're winning. When Varahadev was fighting against Hiranyaksha, Hiranyaksha took his mighty golden club and he leaped in the air with all his power. And he roared like a lion toward Lord Varahadev, "You are slain!" And then he smashed the Lord's club with his club, and the Lord's club fell to the ground. And Lord Varahadev was without a weapon. And Hiranyaksha was thinking, ha 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 ha, just see my power. You think you can fight against me? The demigods, they were thinking, oh my God, Vishnu is about to be slain. And Hiranyaksha was convinced that he had already shown that he was more powerful. Now it was just a matter of time till he could kill God. But Lord Varahadev, he was very, very confident, simply smiling at the whole situation. That is the condition. This material world is God's energy. Sometimes Krishna, through material existence, allows the illusion-conditioned soul to think that, yes, I am conquering the multifarious opponents in the form of the miseries of material existence. I do have healthy body and nice wealth and good intelligence, and I do have a very peaceful situation in life. I am conquering hunger and thirst and heat and cold and honor and dishonor. I'm conquering these things. Just see what I have done with my own hands. Just see how responsible and pious I am. I'm happy. I'm winning the war. It's a hard struggle, but it's worth it. This is the mentality of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Whether you're pious or impious, in this world you're fighting against the miseries of material existence, and material Maya is simply smiling at you. You think you're defeating me? I'm just giving you a little time to play with you, and you just wait. In due course of time, what did Varahadev do to Hiranyaksha? After this whole battle, where Hiranyaksha was displaying all his mystic powers, and through most of the battle, it appeared Varahadev was losing. And Hiranyaksha was convinced he was going to win. He was creating such illusions with his mystic powers. And then in the end, Varahadev thought, he thinks he's winning. I've let him go long enough in his illusion. And then Varahadev simply took his lotus-like hoof, boars have hoofs, and he just touched him behind the ear. And just by touching him, here they were beating each other with clubs and smashing each other with fists and weapons. It was a very terrible war. But in the end, he just took his little finger and went, and it was like a thunderbolt into Hiranyaksha's head. And he just fell to the ground dead instantly. And the whole earth shook. That is the destiny of every materialistic person. So rather than simply fight this hard struggle for material existence, we have to give up our insatiable material desires through the process of purification, through the process of associating with saintly persons, through the process of chanting the names of God, through the process especially of dovetailing our natural inclinations to struggle for Krishna. How can you expect me to be steady in devotional service when it's so difficult? This world is a difficult place. This world is a place of a hard struggle for existence. Whether you are a devotee or whether you are a materialist in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, you have to struggle in this world. The question is, what are you going to struggle for and who are you going to struggle for? If you struggle for your own profit, adoration, and distinction in this world, you are in danger at every step. You will fall into the ocean today or tomorrow, suffer and die. And no one can deny that that is a fact. But if you struggle for Krishna, if you accept hardships and difficulties on behalf of Krishna, in the service of the Lord and His devotees, then you are transported beyond this ocean of material existence. And you realize that within your own heart is the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, that place where there is no anxieties. And you can live there eternally. While in this body you can live in that place. You can be in this world but not of this world. You can see it for what it is and see you in your real relationship with God. Krishna says in Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yobeti tattvata tyaktva deham punarajana naiti mameti swarajana. One who understands the transcendental nature of my activities in birth, one who engages in my loving service, never takes birth in this material world again. This material world where from the highest, most pious condition of life to the most sinful, hellish condition, they are all miserable, where there is danger at every step, where death is the conclusion. But one who attains my abode, Krishna says, will never suffer again. In the spiritual world there is no struggle, there is no hardships. Everyone is simply dancing and chanting. It is a joyful existence. But in this material world, there is only a struggle. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, today or tomorrow, your life is a struggle. And it's a struggle like the struggle of Hiranyakasipu against Varahadev. It's a struggle against an enemy that you can never defeat. It is a struggle against the almighty destiny of death. If we can simply release ourselves from the bondage of insatiable material desires, then we are freed from all the sufferings of material existence. It is our desires to enjoy this material world that is like a chain that keeps us bound to this condition of great suffering. So we must purify our desires by constantly engaging our mind and senses, by good direction of saintly persons in the service of Lord Sri Hari. When our mind and senses are engaged in the service of Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, we should know we are no longer in this material world, but we are en route to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha.
You were listening to Radhanath Swami on thesacredconnect.com.